All right, so new games for the month of May. I thought we'd do a big one because this month is honestly stacked and we've been eating good so far. I mean, April, Clay Obscur, Fatal Fury, Oblivion remake. It's just like there's been tons of games releasing, and May is, if anything, speeding up. I've got a good selection though today of like indie games, AAA, a couple of DLC packs, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, if you do enjoy this video, do me a favor and subscribe. Here on the channel, we have everything from upcoming PlayStation games, reviews and new releases, deals, all that kind of good stuff. So the support is appreciated. It helps the channel grow transparently, and that's what it's all about for me. We can make this channel grow, the more content I can bring you. So yeah, again, if you enjoy it, subscribe, and yeah, let's get into 20 games coming in the month of May that I think you should definitely be keeping an eye on. Despelote is up first, and this is a soccer game, football game. It's all about people, narrative driven. You're playing as an 8-year-old named Julian, and basically it's exploring the town, speaking to the locals, kicking and passing that ball. Basically, it's following the city change as Ecuador. They're coming closer and closer to qualifying for the World Cup. So obviously that passion is kind of erupting in this location. It looks really interesting though. I've been seeing this one float around for what feels like a couple of years now. It's got its first review as well. Edge Magazine, they gave it a 9 out of 10. That's really positive because Edge Magazine, not easy to get a high score from. So yeah, really excited for this one. Definitely a unique visual style, definitely a unique concept. The publishers I really like too. They handled Firewatch, one of my personal favorite games. So yeah, if you want a narrative-driven football experience, then this may just be a good pickup. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition then, not a huge amount to add on this one. It came out on Xbox, PC, all that good stuff just a little while ago, and basically it's simple. It's celebrating the 20th anniversary of what is one of the best ever strategy games made, but now it's got 4K HD graphics, there's a new and remastered soundtrack, and there is brand new content. That's the Last Khans with 3 new campaigns, 4 new civilizations. You already know if Age of Empires is going to be for you. I'm a big fan personally. I'd probably be leaning towards PC gameplay, transparently. But look, if PlayStation is your only option, or that's how you like to play, then it will be available very soon and definitely worth the time. Spirit of the North 2 then, and I really enjoyed the first game. I won't say it's a perfect experience, but it was unique. It's kind of this third-person adventure. You play as a fox kind of saving this world, and it seems like, from the description at least, they're kind of repeating history here. Basically, there's an ancient world that's left in ruin, and your role alongside a raven is to basically seek out these guardians and release them from the grasp of some sort of evil spirit, I guess would be the best way to put it. But yeah, the first game was really kind of unique in its moments. The adventure was really fun. I'm curious to see what the Raven companion here will be doing alongside you. And yeah, it's going to go either way. It could be really good, or it could just be simply more the same. I'm hoping they do push it a little bit, but I'll definitely be taking a look. Revenge of the Savage Planet then is, of course, the sequel to Journey 2. If you have played that game, incredible. Great time. It's kind of like a first-person Metroidvania, basically. Run around, explore, look for upgrades, basically use said upgrades then to explore more of this location. And this seems to be somewhat the same, but basically now it seems we've been made redundant and we've been abandoned in space. No gear, no safety net. So yeah, go explore, collect these upgrades, and then eventually, ideally, get revenge on your former employer and return to Earth. So yeah, it looks like you're going to be going across multiple planets here, tons of challenges. See, I'm really excited. I'm guessing they're going to push the gameplay in quite a few new directions here, and it looks really good. I really like the visual style of the first game anyway, and this one looks incredibly crisp in comparison. Right, so thank you to Untold Tales for sponsoring today's video with their latest PlayStation release, Ecognomix. Now, if you ever loved games like The Settlers, building up a little village, managing resources, sending out workers, you're going to want to check this one out. It's basically this really fun mix of cozy city builder and strategic roguelites. So yes, here you are running a tiny gnome village sitting right above a network of mystical caves. You'll send out a team of gnomes on these roguelite runs. Concept: gather resources, battle weird creatures, and watch out for bats that steal all your stuff. The end goal: make it back before the caves collapse. Now back once you're above ground, you use what you brought home to expand your village, unlock new buildings, set up production chains, and even get stronger for that next expedition. Every run then lets you tweak your team as well. You'll swap in different types of gnomes and unlock upgrades that totally change the strategy. So look, even if your run goes sideways here, and believe me, it will, you're still making progress and building something bigger each time. So look, if you're into strategic gameplay with a cozy vibe, definitely check out Ecognomix. It's out now on PlayStation. I'll link to the PSN store down below in the pinned comment. And yeah, once again, big thanks again to Untold Tales for supporting the channel. The Midnight Walk. This has been on my list for a while now. It is a dark fantasy adventure experience, basically borderline horror. But it comes from the team behind a game called Lost in Random, which was this very cool kind of dice-based action adventure, I guess. But this one, it is, I believe, stop motion, if I'm correct, the way they filmed it. Oh, I say filmed it, but created it. It looks incredible. Basically, we play as the burnt one. We'll have a lost lantern creature named Pop Boy that's going to be helping us through this world. Basically, we use his flame to light our way through all sorts of horrors, I guess. The game also features VR compatibility as well, and I think that I don't have a VR headset anymore myself. Honestly, I bought one at launch. It didn't get a ton of love, let's face it, so I did give it up. I may go back one day. But yeah, I think that would be a very good way to experience this one, but I'm going to be day one on this particular game. I think it looks very cool. Can't name a game that looks quite like it, or at least in recent memory. So yeah, the Midnight Walk is probably, to me, the biggest curiosity of the month. It's been talked about for so long now, so I'm excited to see if it finally kind of lives up to what the trailers have promised, shall we say. Empyreal then is a, I mean, I'll call it what it is. It seems to me like it's going to be it's a Souls-like, basically. Definitely on the indie side. Very cool publisher behind this one. Secret Mode, big fan of their work. But basically, it seems that we are fighting our way across these unexplored planets. We're looking for some sort of monolith that was built by a lost civilization. But yeah, the combat looks like it could be decent. They did do like a 6-7 minute video breaking down kind of the gameplay, the mechanics. That's kind of where I'm getting that Souls-like bit from here. I think it looks really good. It definitely has some stiff competition in the action RPG world, let's face it. But yeah, if it's got a good story, which actually Secret Mode are typically very good at delivering when they are a publisher, they find developers, in my opinion, with really unique narratives. So that could make this one stand out a little bit. I do think as well the key art, the main art they're using for this game looks a little bit cheap, honestly. But once the game's in motion, it's kind of got this low poly, clean look to it. And yeah, I'm curious to dive into this world. The trailers are not giving us a huge amount to really understand where the narrative direction is going to be going. And seeing a few of the enemies looks like it definitely goes a little all over the place. So I'm excited to check it out. The Precinct. Now, I actually got hands-on with this about a month and a half ago. Pre-release, of course. They were doing a preview event. I will have a video on that actually this week. I got to play it for about 3-4 hours. I really like the look of this one. It's basically a... Yeah, it's kind of like a throwback to almost GTA in the way it's positioned, the camera angles, all that good stuff. But here we are a police officer. It's 1983. Gangs, bad guys basically rule the streets. And our father was killed, essentially. So now, as his child, you are joining the force, and our job is to clean up the city. Really just understand what the hell is going on in this location, because it seems to be getting... Well, I won't say it's getting worse, but it's definitely in bad shape. So the police they've got their work cut out. When I played it hands-on for those few hours, I got to explore the location, definitely a decent little size. We got a helicopter mission, a couple of car chases. You're going to have to do the almost, let's call it the boring stuff as well, meaning, just walking the beat and handing out parking tickets, that sort of stuff. And it definitely was a little bit glitchy at moments. Just things like cars crashing into walls, for example. Pedestrians just disappearing. There's moments when you have to do monitor the speed limit, and that was an absolute pain in my opinion. But yeah, I think this one's going to be good. It's definitely got that addictive hook to it, meaning it's procedurally generated, and basically, you could just sit in this world hours on end, chasing down criminals, looking for speeding, handing out fines, arresting people. So yeah, the Precinct's been, for me, a long requested release. It's had a ton of love as well over on Steam with its demos they've been dropping. So yeah, I'd be excited for this one. I think it's got a ton of potential. I'll definitely be watching out for reviews personally. Palia then, not my sort of game honestly, but we'll keep this quick. It is a well-loved, cozy experience. It is now coming to the PlayStation 5. If you are into your fishing, farming, exploration, a cozy sim basically, but it is multiplayer. It's also free to play. And yeah, if that is your thing, then Palia seems like it is well loved, and yeah, maybe worth checking out. All right, so this really is a big one. Doom: The Dark Ages, the prequel to Doom and Doom Eternal. It is the third installment of this modern kind of Doom refresher, shall we say. I cannot wait for this. Once again, we're going to be taking on the role of the Doomslayer. And yeah, I'd expect a ton of demon killing, incredible weapons, and all sorts of weirdness. It's basically going medieval at this one, and the weapon selection looks insane to me. You know, the first-person shooting's always been good with this game as well, but looking at some of the melee combat in the trailers I've been watching, I think they're about to dial that up a notch. It looks bloody lovely, like visually looks, yeah, stunning. And, I mean, what more do you need to know, really? It's Doom. Expect a heavy metal soundtrack, expect blood and guts everywhere, and that's exactly what we want from Doom. So Doom: The Dark Ages. Again, it kind of feels like it's been a long time coming now, but really excited for this one. That is definitely a day one buy, and I am so confident they will absolutely deliver. They don't seem to miss. The only thing I'm curious to is kind of the multiplayer element of it. The multiplayer in Doom Eternal was very weak, so I'd love to see them step that up again, but we'll see what that looks like come release day. All right, so American Arcadia. This one looks really interesting. It's like a 2.5D cinematic platformer. Basically, it looks like another world for anyone that's maybe played that one. But it's got this really cool kind of 70s retro futuristic style to it all. That said, basically the concept of this game is they seem to have this perfect life of luxury, but they're actually being broadcast live 24/7. So basically, it is a reality show, and if you've seen The Truman Show, that's exactly what it is, a 70s spin on The Truman Show. So yeah, basically what is happening now is the popularity ratings are dropping, and that means they need to do something to make it, once again, the most watched reality show on the planet. So that means start killing people. So basically the concept here is we need to uncover the truth, we need to escape as well. And yeah, there's going to be two characters in different environments apparently, and it's all about side-scrolling platforming, action, chases, stealth, puzzles. Should be really interesting. I love the look of the cutscenes, and the visual style generally I think is really well done. So I've always loved that kind of retro futuristic vibe to things. So I'll definitely be checking this one out as well. But yeah, American Arcadia, I believe it released on... It released on PC already, maybe a couple of the consoles as well, but it's got a 77 on Metacritic. I think that is more than respectable, and it seems user reviews really like it a lot, actually quite a bit more, it seems, than the user reviews. So that is American Arcadia. It's been out for a couple of years on other platforms. We are finally seeing it on PlayStation. I am excited for it. Star Wars Outlaws: A Pirate's Fortune. Now, the base game of this got a lot of hate at launch. Since then, it seems to have found its popularity. I thought the game was really fun. I've said it before on the channel here, I'll say it again. I thought the stealth was a little bit weak in that initial release. Since then, they've been patching and working on it. I think they've done a really good job. Yes, the game did have its bugs. Yes, people were talking about it all over Twitter because they were angry for some unknown reason, honestly. But it's like any open world game, it's massive. There's always going to be bugs, and I think they've done a really good job of keeping on top of it. It's great to see it getting an expansion here as well. So basically, we got a new adventure with Kay and Nyx, and yeah, we're going to have some legend characters coming into play. It seems we're going to be infiltrating some sort of tomb. I don't know too much about this DLC, transparently. I know I'll definitely be checking it out at some point, but expect new rewards, new missions, basically an expansion of the gameplay. I wouldn't expect it to add anything new to the mix, honestly, but probably a few fan favorite characters and a few, no doubt, beastly enemies to crush you a little bit. Capcom Fighting Collection 2. This is one I'm really looking forward to as well, purely because it's obviously a fighting collection. Capcom always do a good job with these things anyway, but this one in particular, it's got everything from Capcom vs SNK 2 through to the ones I want, Power Stone and Power Stone 2. It's going to be 8 classic fighting games though, but Power Stone and Power Stone 2 are these incredible 3D fighting games that were on the Dreamcast. I played the hell out of them when I was a kid. And each of the games in this collection actually has online and co-op as well. I've got a few friends that will definitely be jumping into those particular two titles. But look, obviously, you've got to like your old school. You got to like Capcom. You got to like fighting games. But if that is your thing, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend Power Stone and Power Stone 2. I just hope they do a good job of the ports here. They haven't let me down yet with these Capcom collections, though, so it gives me a lot of faith. Monster Train 2. Monster Train is, in my opinion, one of the best deck builders there is. I think if I had to put the big three for me, it would be Balatro, Slay the Spire, and Monster Train 2. Or Monster Train 2, Monster Train 1. I think, for me, Monster Train would actually probably be #1 as well, to give you an idea of how much I just love this game. But yeah, here we get more Really excited for it. I can't say you see too many sequels to deck builders. Slay the Spire 2 still hasn't happened. Bellatrix is obviously relatively new, so understandably they're still kind of building out that game. But now it seems that we are flipping the script. In the first one, in Monster Train 1, we were basically trying to relight hell because it was being extinguished, basically. So we were trying to save hell. And now it seems that Titans have taken control of heaven. So we actually have a partnership here between angels and demons, and we need to work together. So we're going to be actually having different clans. How the gameplay works here is it's actually a train system, and the battles take place over multiple floors. And it's still going to be the same thing, defending your pyre in that kind of three-tiered gameplay, but it's so unique, and I cannot wait to see. I'm expecting this to be like tons more content, hundreds more cards, hundreds more locations, hundreds more difficulty levels, all that good stuff. Monster Train 2, though, deck builder fans, please just take a look at the first game. Promise you won't regret it. All right, so deliver at all costs. This one looks really cool, and honestly, until I started putting this video together, I knew absolutely nothing about it. It's again kind of like the Precinct in its presentation, that old school GTA vibe to it. But here it is, 1959, and basically we are playing a character called Winston Green, and we are a courier, bad temper, and basically we just need to deliver loads of unconventional cargo. And what that basically means is cause absolute destruction in this world. But what really impresses me with this game is those destruction physics. These cities are crumbling, the locations are crumbling. It looks really impressive. And the more I'm digging into it as well, it's actually published by Konami. And I don't know, where is the advertising for this game? I've not. Maybe you've heard of it. If you have, let me know in the comments. But honestly, this game for me has just come out of nowhere. It looks really cool, really fun. I love the destruction physics again. I think it looks visually really nice. The key art, the main poster, kind of looks a little bit AI in my opinion. But apart from that, really excited for this one. I think that it's going to be absolutely nuts. And it seems like there's tons of vehicles, special abilities. I'm seeing atomic bomb mentioned in the summary, so that should tell you everything. But yeah, this is deliver at all costs. I'm kind of worried it's just going to fly completely under the radar because I haven't heard about it, and I look at new games pretty much daily. So yeah, hopefully it finds an audience, and if you have heard about it, again, let me know in the comments. So Blades of Fire, and this is another one where I can't say that I've seen like a huge amount of advertising for it, but what I've seen, I definitely like the look of. It's a action-adventure game where basically it seems the big concept here is forging your own weaponry, so it's going to be all about that kind of crafting element. Kind of sounds a little bit like the Atelier series, but much darker, obviously, but that's all about crafting as well. But it's basically the concept here of we are the firstborn of the King's Ward, and basically some queen here has cast a spell that turns steel into stone, and only her army of enemies basically have divine metal. So we are building up and finding new weapons so we can take on this evil army, and we can expect basically to recruiting companions. Typical action RPG kind of vibe, But yeah, it promises tons of different weapons, or 7 different kind of types of weapon at least. 30 unique scrolls which allow you to basically try different weapon combinations. Some of the things that it advertises are always things that put me off, like over 50 enemy types. I mean, like, do you really need to count them? But it does look cool. Just, again, there's not been a lot on it. I haven't seen a huge amount. Even the trailers are, like, very short and brief, and they don't really explain the narrative. They don't really show too much of the gameplay. They show nice-looking cutscenes, but, I mean, a nice-looking cutscene and a good game are 2 very different things. So, yeah, I'm keeping an eye on this one. If you're into action RPGs, definitely going to be worth potentially just watching over this next month or so, see if we get any more information on it, but no doubt reviews will drop and we'll have a better idea then. Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny Remaster. This series is bloody incredible. I am so happy it's making a comeback, and yeah, what can I say? I played the trilogy when I was a kid, adore them. Picked up the first remaster immediately, loved it, reviewed it over on Switch Corner. I'll link that down below if you do want to check it out for yourself. Take a look. Really fun game. And here, I'm hoping for very much, yeah, I mean, I guess more the same, just a solid remaster. They didn't reinvent the wheel or anything here, but we can expect new difficulty settings. There's a new Hell mode where basically a single hit spells death. That will be very bloody challenging. There's also going to be an easy mode as well from the start. Aside from that, you can expect quality of life features, so you can swap weapons without pausing the game now, and you can actually there's a few things that are going to make it just basically more infinitely playable. Things like tank controls, for example. I'm sure you'll have the option, but we should have modernized as well in here. But yeah, very cool game this. I think it stood the test of the time personally. I actually played this one quite recently. I revisited it on my old console before I actually, unfortunately, had to sell my entire physical collection. But yeah, this is all about, as usual, fighting an army of demons. It started as originally a Resident Evil entry and then kind of spun into its own thing. So to give you an idea of what the gameplay's like, that kind of sums it up. But yeah, Onimusha, highly recommended. Always recommended it. I'll stand by that statement. Cannot wait for the new entry. All right, now Lost Soul aside, on this one, I've got to be honest with you. I'm not kind of... I like the look of it, but everybody seems to think it's going to be something special. I'm not completely sold personally. I think it looks very cool, do not get me wrong, but I think our hopes may be a little bit too high with it. I think it was all made by a single developer, if I'm correct. And don't get me wrong, it is incredibly impressive they've managed to do that. But yeah, think about it, it looks a little bit clunky to me personally. I'll obviously be checking it out here for the channel, but basically the concept here, from what I can tell, it's basically an action RPG, and it's all really about going and fighting a mysterious monster that's appeared in this world, and we are essentially merged with that monster, and now we need to phone. It sounds kind of nuts, to be honest. You have to find different stones that are scattered all over the world. I presume that is to save yourself because you've merged with this monster. I presume that's going to separate us. But yeah, they're saying here it's an action game with fantasy art style, and it's something like combining Final Fantasy with Ninja Gaiden, which, don't get me wrong, that sounds like a perfect dream combination to me. But yeah, just think about even the way it's written there, like something like combining. I don't know, it sounds so like chill. But anyway, Lost Soul aside, it's actually being published by PlayStation directly, so that definitely gives me some faith. There's obviously quality in here, but hopefully it lives up to everybody's expectations. Again, for me, I'm not 100% sold. It definitely has its moments that look really interesting, but I also think there's really big elements of clunkiness as well. So we'll see how we get on. But Lost Soul aside, I think that's going to be a big one for a lot of people out there in the month of May. At Disney Illusion Island, I'll keep this quick. It is a up to 4-player Metroidvania, designed for kids essentially. I played it on the Nintendo Switch. I really enjoyed it. What I particularly like with this game is you can choose a different difficulty level for each player. So if you're playing with your kids, you could play on hard mode, which gives you basically one life, one hit, while the kids could be on easy, or even, I think there was like a no death mode as well. Really fun platforming. The visuals are bloody beautiful in this game. Gameplay is really fun. It is kind of like non-violent, but there are boss encounters as well still in this world. They just use really unique kind of environmental mechanics to defeat them. And yeah, it's all about going to this island and helping out this kind of, like, I guess, tribe. They kind of tease you, and what they basically do is they tempt you to the island with the promise of a picnic and a day out, and it turns out they actually need your help. But yeah, really beautiful looking game. Really good spin on the Disney format. It reminds me of the old days. Was it Castle of Illusion? Whatever it was called. Fantastic game, by the way, on the Mega Drive, that one. But yeah, real good kind of high quality experience for Disney fans out there, because this is a sort of IP where they just could pump out any old crap, quite frankly. And unfortunately, fans would pay for it. Elden Ring Nightreign. I've not been lucky enough to get in on the betas for this, so I'm really excited for this release. It is a standalone multiplayer co-op action survival game. Try and say that fast 3 times. But basically, it's all about getting into a team and defeating the Night Lord. And I believe it's up to 3 players. Obviously, you can go solo if you want. And just looking at kind of the blurb, it's all about outlasting a 3 day and night cycle. It's going to be hard as nails. Reviews initially, from what I am hearing, or not reviews, but impressions from the betas that we've had in the past, people seem to really enjoy it. Obviously, it's going to be on the high end for challenge for run-based gameplay. I fancy it. I'm curious to see what its staying power is, compared to, like, let's say, Elden Ring and Bloodborne, etc., games that I've revisited over the years. Is this one that's going to keep me coming back? It's definitely a unique concept. But I mean, look, it's From Software, and From Software are, well, put it this way, they haven't let me down yet, so I have my full faith in them, and I think that is absolutely fair, and I think for a lot of fans of the series, they'll say exactly the same thing. It's going to be a day one buy. It's a unique idea on the action RPG formula. It's just whether it's got the longevity of the rest of their experiences, or is it going to get kind of, dull after a few days. All right, so our final game then is F1 25. I presume this will be the, what's it called this year? The Iconic Edition, because they normally like to charge you a few extra quid so you get early access. So this will probably be actually releasing for the standard edition at the beginning of June. Correct me if I'm wrong. But what can I add? It's F1 25. Big fan of F1 generally. Watch it religiously. In fact, I cannot wait for this game as usual. We are on F1 25 now, which means that we will see story mode return. It's going to be the third chapter of Breaking Point, which I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I really enjoy the story-based element of F1. I thought it was going to be utter crap when it first arrived in, was it F1 2021? And it's cheesy, it's tacky, it's very family-friendly, you know, unlike the actual sport itself where we see a lot of swearing, a lot of angst. This said, it's a really good introduction to the sport as well. It explains a lot of the rules for people that may be new, so if that's you, definitely give it a look. But I'm excited. I always am. The games always look absolutely stunning. The gameplay last year for F1 24, initially they patched it. The gameplay was a little bit off. The cars didn't feel quite right, in my opinion. And I think generally the consensus of the audience was we all felt that way. But F1 25, I'm all about it, man. Day one, easy. Bloody love Formula One. I think they're the best racing games on any system, in my mind, just because I love the sport again. We're getting Forza, actually, well, at this point last month, which is very cool to see on the PlayStation system. But between those two games now, PlayStation has a hell of a lineup. Gran Turismo as well, of course, though I do think Forza honestly beats it out. But anyway, look, that's the 20 new games that I'm looking forward to in the month of May. And I think it is a stacked month. I think it's just going from strength to strength right now. It's been crazy. In fact, like I said at the beginning, like Clay Obscure, we've had Fatal Fury in the month of April. It's just going like beast mode for 2025. But if you did enjoy this one, do me a favor and subscribe. That helps out the channel a huge amount. And yeah, I'll see you all on the next video. Cheers on.